Today is a memorial day for two saints who happen to have the same name, Saint Cyril. So, in this video, I will be going back and forth between the two saints. I'll try to be as clear and specific as possible as to which Cyril I will be talking about. Hopefully, everything will be clear for everybody. But please, if you have questions, if you have things that are a little bit confusing or seems like it's going too much back and forth, let me know in the comments section. Please share the video, give me a like and thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. There are actually two prominent figures in history of Christianity named Cyril who are recognized as saints in the Catholic Church. Here is a brief explanation of both of these individuals. You have Saint Cyril of Alexandria, born somewhere around 376 and passed away in 444. Cyril was born in Alexandria, Egypt, around the year 376. He came from a Christian family and received an excellent education, studying rhetoric, philosophy, and theology. He became known as a prominent theologian and bishop of Alexandria, succeeding his uncle Theophilus in 412 AD. Cyril played a significant role in theological controversies of his time, particularly in the Nestorian controversy. Cyril vehemently opposed Nestorius, the patriarch of Constantinople, who was teaching that Mary should not be called the mother of God, Theotokos, but rather mother of Christ. Cyril argued that Jesus was both fully divine and fully human, and thus Mary, as his mother, should be rightfully called the Mother of God. He participated in the Council of Ephesus in 431 AD, where Nestorius' teachings were condemned and the title of Theotokos was officially affirmed. Cyril's theological contributions were crucial in resolving this controversy. Cyril was a prolific writer, composing numerous theological treatises, biblical commentaries, and sermons. He is particularly remembered for his works on the Trinity and the Incarnation. He passed away on June 27th, 444 AD in Alexandria. His feast day is celebrated on June 27th. Secondly, there's Saint Cyril of Jerusalem, who was born in 313 and passed away in 386. Cyril was born around 313 AD, likely in or near Jerusalem. He received his education in classics and theology in Caesarea and Jerusalem. He was an ordained deacon by Bishop Maximus of Jerusalem and later became a priest. In 349 AD, he succeeded Maximus as the Bishop of Jerusalem. Cyril is best known for his catechetical lectures, a series of instructional talks given to new converts to Christianity during Lent. These lectures provided systematic instructions in Christian doctrine and practices, and they were some of the earliest examples of catechetical teachings in the Church. He faced persecution and exile multiple times due to the theological controversies, in particular regarding to Arian heresy. Despite these challenges, Cyril remained steadfast in his defense of orthodox Christian doctrine. Cyril died in Jerusalem around the year 386 AD. His feast day is in the Catholic Church celebrated in March 18th. Both of these saints were made significant contributions to the development and defense of Christian theology during their lifetimes, and their legacy continues to be honored within the Catholic Church. Saint Cyril of Alexandria, also known as Saint Cyril the Great, is often depicted in traditional Christian iconography with various symbols and attributes that represent aspects of his life and contributions to the church. Here are just some of the common elements found in icons of Saint Cyril the Great. Episcopal attire. As a bishop of Alexandria, St. Cyril is typically depicted wearing the vestments of his office, including a bishop's mitre, a tall hat, an ophorion, a stole worn around the neck, symbolizing his ecclesiastic authority. Gospel book. St. Cyril is often holding a gospel book, representing his role as a teacher and defender of Christian doctrine. This symbolizes his dedication to spreading the gospel and his prolific writings on theology and biblical interpretation. Theotokos icons. In some icons, Saint Cyril may be depicted holding an icon of the Theotokos, Mary, Mother of God. This symbolizes his defense of the title Theotokos, Mother of God, against the teachings of Nestorius during the Council of Ephesus. Quill and scroll. Since St. Cyril was a prolific writer and theologian, he is sometimes depicted with a quill, pen, and scroll, symbolizing his many theological treatises and letters, sermons. Council of Ephesus. In some icons, St. Cyril may be depicted participating in the Council of Ephesus, holding a document or gesturing towards the assembly. This symbolizes his role in combating the Nestorian heresy and affirming the Orthodox understanding of the Incarnation. Serpent. In reference to Cyril's defense against heresy, particularly the Nestorian controversy, some icons depict him standing or trampling on a serpent or dragon, symbolizing his victory over the false teachings and heretical doctrines. A dove. As a symbol of Holy Spirit, a dove may appear in icons of Saint Cyril, representing his reliance and divine inspiration in his theological writings and teachings. These are just some of the common elements found in icons of Saint Cyril of Alexandria. While the specific details may vary depending on the artist and cultural traditions, these symbols are collectively the reflection of his important role as a bishop, theologian, defender of orthodoxy, and teacher within the Christian Church. Saint Cyril of Jerusalem, also known as Cyril of Jerusalem or Cyril Hierosolymitanus, is often depicted in traditional Christian iconography with various symbols and attributes that represent aspects of his life and contributions to the church. Here are just some of the common elements found in icons of Saint Cyril of Jerusalem. The bishop's attire. Saint Cyril is typically depicted wearing the vestments of his office as a bishop, including a bishop's mitre, a tall hat, and omophorion, a stole worn around the neck, which symbolizes his role as a shepherd and teacher of the Christian faith in Jerusalem. Gospel book. Saint Cyril is often shown holding a gospel book representing his role as a teacher and preacher of the Christian faith. This symbolizes his commitment to proclaiming the gospel message and instructing new converts in the Christian doctrines. The church. Cyril may be depicted standing near or within a church or cathedral, representing his role as Bishop of Jerusalem and his leadership in the Christian community. This symbolizes his pastoral care and oversight of the local church of Jerusalem. Cathetical instruction. In some icons, St. Cyril's depicted given instructions to catechumens or newly baptized Christian, symbolizing his famous cathedral lectures delivered during Lent. These lectures provided systematic teachings on Christian doctrine and practices to prepare individuals for baptism and incorporation into the Church. The Holy City of Jerusalem. St. Cyril may be depicted within the city of Jerusalem in the background, symbolizing his connection to and leadership in the Christian community of Jerusalem. This also serves as a reminder of the importance of Jerusalem as a holy city in the Christian tradition. Instruments of Passion. In some icons, Cyril may be depicted with the symbols of the Passion of the Christ, such as the cross, crown of thorns, or nails, symbolizes his commitment to the suffering and death of Christ as a central part of the Christian faith. Eucharistic symbols. Cyril may be depicted with symbols of the Eucharist, such as a chalice and host, representing his emphasis on the sacraments and the importance of the Eucharist celebration in the life of the Church. These were just some of the common elements found in the icons of St. Cyril of Jerusalem. While the specific details may vary depending on the artist and cultural tradition, these symbols collectively reflect his important role as a bishop, teacher, and shepherd of the Christian faithful in Jerusalem, and his enduring legacy as a doctor of the Church. Saint Cyril of Alexandria is reputed to have performed numerous miracles during his lifetime, demonstrating his holiness and the power of God working through him. While specific accounts of these miracles may vary in different sources, here are just a few examples of miracles attributed to Saint Cyril of Alexandria. Healing miracles. Cyril was believed to have been a conduit for many healing miracles, both during his lifetime and after his death. It is said that people came to him seeking healing from various illnesses and infirmities, and many were reportedly cured through prayers and intercessions. Exorcisms. Cyril is said to have cast out demons from those who were possessed, delivering them from spiritual bondage and oppression. These exorcisms were seen as a manifestations of God's power working through Cyril to combat evil forces. Miraculous signs and wonders. There are accounts of Cyril performing various miracle signs and wonders, such as multiplying food to feed the hungry, calming storms at sea, and even raising the dead. These miracles were seen as evidence of Cyril's sanctity and divine favor. Conversions. Cyril is also credited with converting many individuals to the Christian faith through his preaching and teaching. His eloquence and wisdom were said to have touched the hearts of those who heard him, leading them to embrace the gospel and turn away from sin. Protection from danger. Cyril was believed to have intervened miraculously to protect people from harm and danger on numerous occasions, whether it was shielding them from physical harm, averting disasters, or preserving them from spiritual perils. Cyril was seen as a powerful intercessor and protector. Prophetic insights. Cyril was reputed to have possessed prophetic gifts, receiving insights into future events and providing guidance and warnings to those around him. These prophetic utterances were seen as evidence of Cyril's close relationship with God and understanding of his divine mysteries. While specific details of these miracles may have been embellished or vary from different accounts, they collectively illustrate the widespread belief in Cyril's holiness and extraordinary nature of his life and ministries. These miracles contribute to his reputation as a saint and spiritual leader, inspiring devotion and admiration from the faithful throughout the centuries. Saint Cyril of Jerusalem is revered for his holiness and his contributions to the Christian faith, but specific accounts of his miracles attributed to him are not as widely documented as they are for some other saints. However, there are some accounts of miraculous events associated with Cyril of Jerusalem, particularly related to his ministry and pastoral care. Here are just a brief examples of those miracles. Protection from dangers. There are some accounts of Saint Cyril protecting his flock from various dangers and calamities. For example, it is said that during a severe famine in Jerusalem, Cyril miraculously provided food for the starving population through his prayers and intercessions. Healing miracles. Cyril is also said to have performed healing miracles, curing the sick and infirm through his prayers and laying of on hands. These healing miracles were seen as evidence of God's power working through Cyril to bring physical and spiritual restoration to those in need. Eucharistic miracles. Cyril emphasized the importance of the Eucharist in his teachings, and there are accounts of miraculous events occurring during celebrations of the Mass. For example, it is said that Saint Cyril witnessed the miraculous transformation of the bread and wine into the body and blood of Christ during the Eucharist liturgy. Protection from heresy. Cyril was a staunch defender of the Orthodox Christian doctrine, particularly against Arian heresy, which denied the divinity of Christ. There are accounts of Cyril miraculously confounding the arguments of heretics and protecting his flock from false teachings through his wisdom and spiritual discernment. Posthumous miracles. After his passing, Saint Cyril was believed to have continued to intercede on behalf of the faithful, and there are accounts of miraculous events associated with his relics and tombs. For example, it is said that the relics of Cyril exuded a sweet fragrance and were source of numerous healing miracles for pilgrims who visited his tomb. While specific details of these miracles may vary and are often subject to legendary embellishment, they collectively testify to the widespread belief in Cyril's sanctity and the miraculous power attributed to him by the Christian faithful. These accounts of miracles contribute to his reputation as a saint and holy man within the Christian tradition. The process of canonization, or the formal recognition of someone as a saint in the Catholic Church, typically involves several steps. Since Cyril of Alexandria lived during the early centuries of the Christian faith, the process of his canonization differs from the more formalized procedures established in later centuries. Instead, his recognition as a saint evolved over time through popular devotion and the acknowledgement of his holiness and contributions to the Church. Here is just a quick overview of how Cyril of Alexandria came to be recognized as a saint. Shortly after his passing in 444 AD, Cyril began to be venerated locally in Alexandria and throughout the Eastern Christian Church. The faithful regarded him as a holy man and a defender of the Orthodox faith, particularly for his role in the Council of Ephesus and his theological writings. Over the centuries, devotion to Cyril continued to grow, especially within the Alexandrian tradition of Christianity. His writings were studied and revered by theologians and scholars, and his feast day was celebrated in various dioceses and monasteries. While Cyril's veneration was widespread, formal canonization procedures as we understand them today were not yet established during his time. However, his recognition as a saint became increasingly formalized within the Eastern Orthodox Church, which continued to honor him as a saint and a doctor of the Church. Cyril's recognition as a saint in the Catholic Church occurred as part of the broader process of ecumenical dialogue and reconciliation between the Catholic Church and Eastern Orthodox churches. In 1882, Pope Leo XIII issued an ecclesiastical Quod e Nobis, in which he recognized Cyril of Alexandria as a saint and doctor of the Church, acknowledging his significant contributions to Christian theology and his defense of the Orthodox doctrine. Cyril's feast day in the Catholic Church was officially established as June 27th, the date of his passing, and he is commemorated annually in the liturgical calendars. While Cyril of Alexandria canonization did not follow the formalized procedures established in later centuries, his recognition as a saint within both Eastern Orthodox and Catholic churches attests to his enduring legacy as a holy man, theologian, and defender of the Christian faith. The process of canonization or formal recognition of someone as a Catholic saint typically involves several steps. The recognition of Saint Cyril of Jerusalem as a saint occurred over time through popular devotion and acknowledgement of his holiness and contribution to the Church. Here's a brief overview of how Saint Cyril of Jerusalem came to be recognized as a saint. Shortly after his passing in 386 AD, Cyril began to be venerated, locally in Jerusalem and throughout the Christian East. He was venerated as a holy man, a wise teacher, and a defender of Orthodox Christian doctrine. Local Christians visited his tomb to seek his intercession and to honor his memory. Cyril's writings, particularly his catechetical lectures, became widely known and respected in the Christian world. His teaching on catechesis, sacraments, and the Christian faith had profound impact to the development of Christian doctrine and practice. Many regard him as a doctor of the Church, a title given to theologians whose teaching significantly shaped Christian theology. Cyril was highly esteemed by his contemporaries and by subsequent church fathers for his piety, learning, and defense of orthodoxy. His contributions to the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD, where he defended the divinity of Christ against Arian heresy, further enhanced his reputation as defender of the faith. While formal canonization procedures, as we understand them today, were not yet established during Cyril's times, he was venerated as a saint by Christian faithful, particularly in the East. The Catholic Church formally recognized Cyril as a saint and a doctor of the Church, affirming his holiness and theological contributions. Cyril's feast day in the Catholic Church is celebrated on March 18th, the anniversary of his passing. This day is dedicated to honoring his memory, celebrating his life and teachings, and seeking his intercession. Overall, the recognition of Saint Cyril of Jerusalem as a saint evolved over time through the organic process of popular devotion, theological reflection, and recognition by the Church. While formal canonization procedures were not applied to Cyril in the same way as to later saints, his holiness and impact on the Christian faith have been acknowledged and celebrated by the Church for centuries.